top-notch honorees tonight really humbles me. And coming back to Oshkosh is a real privilege. Chancellor Levitt and Christine and the rest of the Alumni Association Board, thank you so much. And to my 29 guests here tonight, thank you for coming. My lovely wife, Mary Ellen, my son, Brian, stepson, Carl Moriali, with his wife, Emily, stepdaughter, Kara, and her husband, Nick, and 5 grandchildren, Addison Moriali, Mary Grace Moriali, Enzo Moriali, Willa, named after William, Johnson, and Gemma Johnson. Now, I want to take you back a little bit. I was born in 1949, 3.5 years after the end of World War II. I'm a quintessential baby boomer. And Harry Truman was president the year I was born. I grew up in Glen Ellen, Illinois, and I wrestled in high school and had a few academic awards here and there, and had some success. In 1967, I decided to go to Wisconsin State University, Oshkosh. I was going to show the people in Wisconsin how to drink. I found out they already knew. Early in my college career, I pledged and joined the fraternity Tau Kappa Epsilon, and I have 6 members of that fraternity, plus the same Dr. Gene Drektra that was mentioned previously was our faculty advisor. One of the members of my fraternity, John Besh, who was a returning Vietnam War veteran, as was my friend Conrad Johnson. So I came to Oshkosh in '67. There were crew cuts, crinoline, saddle shoes, and a very conservative bias in the community. Other than my getting drunk on Thursday night through Sunday, most of the people around me were pretty serious. When guys like John Besh came back and guys like Conrad Johnson came back with the stories from Vietnam, it was just really something. And the campus turned upside down during that 4-year period, the most tumult since the Civil War. Now, when I was in college, don't forget, I'd grown up during the 50s when there were duck and cover drills, and we were always worried about the Soviet Union and them bombing us and stuff. So in my junior year, I managed to keep ahead of the academic probation just barely, and finished my 16 credits per semester. I had the opportunity to study in the Soviet Union with a professor named Juris Vaidemanis and his widow Gladys Vaidemanis, Wisconsin State Teacher of the Year in 1984 from Oshkosh North High School. Now I went over there learning words like piva, alus, beer. So, and obornio was where can I go to the bathroom. So I knew all the key phrases to continue my activities. When we got into the Soviet Union, we found the Soviet soldiers with machine guns and checkpoints and mirrors, and they check every bus and every car and every person, and the personal freedoms weren't there. And this professor, Juris Vaidemanis, was 42 at the time, chairman of sociology and anthropology. And he and I really got to like each other. And when we were in his hometown of Riga, Latvia, Dr. B shared with us some stuff. In the center of Latvia, center of Riga, is Mother Latvia, holding her arms in a crescent shape with 3 stars representing the 3 parts of Latvia. Now these Latvians are so nationalistic and so proud of their background, but had only 20 years of freedom from 1919 to 1939. And in '39, when the Germans blew through Poland and blew through Latvia, Dr. Vaidemanis was a young man. He lost family members, they lost their farm, they lost their home, they lost their business. And he and his father found their way, I think, into a DP camp and eventually back over to the United States. So, not knowing anything and coming here as a guy from Latvia, Dr. V enrolled at Madison, got his bachelor's and later his master's and his PhD, came to Oshkosh State University, before it was Wisconsin State University, and became the chairman of sociology and anthropology. So when we get over there, in downtown Riga, Mother Latvia, it was illegal to decorate any of the monuments in Latvia because the Soviets didn't want you to do this. They done terrible things to the Jews and terrible things to anybody of any intelligence. Teachers, religious leaders, all got to the gulag or to the concentration camp or just plain shot. So Dr. B disclosed to us that he was seriously ill and would probably die when we returned. And I was, drinking most of the time. I thought, my God, this man is taking me to Latvia, and he's telling us about the trials and tribulations of these people. And it was pretty profound. So we decorated the Monument to Freedom and put wreaths and flowers there in downtown Riga. And when we returned back, Dr. B declined and died. And I went to his widow and I said, what can we do? We'd like to place a bench in the front lawn of the university. So all of you who've passed by Dempsey Hall and have seen that crescent-shaped bench with a plaque installed, "Take time to share, Juris Vidamanus," you remember this guy because he was really something. He died such a young man. His influence on me was so profound that I got a 4-point that semester. And I did pretty well and raised my grades and graduated on time and went into the Army and came back. I was pretty changed by this. Now, you talk about a moment. That's a pretty good moment. My career then began. I got my brokerage license. I started trading. Eventually, my business really got big and took off. And I managed a lot of money for a lot of people, but I never forgot what I learned at Wisconsin State University, Oshkosh. In the 100th class, 1971, 1871, my Golden Titan year will be 2021. I'm already politicking like crazy because I want to be the keynote speaker that day. And I want to talk about what happened during that 4 years of tumult when I was here at this university. Let me just close with the respect and honor that I feel for this. And the other people here are fabulous. Their resumes are just wonderful, and they're all just such great people. So thank you, everybody at Oshkosh. I really appreciate this more than you could know.